Hi friends, it's Katie Steinberg here with this week's message from Missing Piece. This past week we were at Fortunato Park here in Ormond and doing Tai Chi together. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. I do want to let you know that this week coming up is Sunday Soul Brunch. We'll be at Ormond Brewing Company at 10:30, and you can get tickets at sundaysoulbrunch.com or ormondsmissingpiece.com or on Facebook, and where you have great music and great food, and it's all for a good cause. All the proceeds and items that we collect will go to Family Renew Community, who's doing some great work sheltering the homeless here in Volusia County. And then the next week after that, we'll have Civil Conversations, which Jeff Steinberg and Ben Collins are hosting for us, and is an opportunity to approach some topics that are contentious with some guidelines to keep it civil. So should be a good opportunity to engage cerebrally. But without further ado, here's this week's message from Missing Piece. So last week was technically a physical week in the Missing Piece rotation through physical, cerebral, spiritual, and serving. However, after talking with Ludi, our Tai Chi black belt leader for last Sunday's, I'll get there, expression, I learned that Tai Chi, not unlike Missing Piece hopes to be, is multifaceted. It is not merely about the series of movements we took together in our time together, but about the meditative nature of them also. The movement is specifically crafted to promote that peaceful, mindful, I'll call it spiritual, meditation so valuable to our balance in life. But let's not make the mistake of making it purely about meditation. The physical aspect of this practice is also important. There's precision, muscle, technique, intimately involved in what is actually a martial art, though not always known in such. In our conversation, Ludi also enlightened me to the fact that Tai Chi is a mental effort. Learning the moves, controlling the movements, and disciplining the mind all play into this multifaceted practice. I knew it would be interesting and applicable to do Tai Chi together. I didn't realize how much it would mirror what we hope to do and be at Missing Piece, encompassing mind, body, and spirit in our journey. When I was first dreaming of Missing Piece, then a nameless, formless amoeba of an idea as compared today, yes, it was even more chaotic in the past, I talked to a friend about this idea, that we are more than just our spiritual selves that my Pentecostal brothers and sisters, and even my New Age ones, value so highly. And that we are more than our cerebral selves that our seminaries and the Presbyterians and the philosophers value so highly. And that there's this really physical aspect of our existence that is almost entirely neglected save through a nod in our sacraments. And to top it all off, give me one good reason that serving isn't also an integral part of worship, or seeking, or serving, or connecting with the divine, whatever vocabulary helps you pin that down. After looking at me for a few minutes like I was a nut job, a title I'll own, my friend said, "Don't you see it? That's in Scripture." I'm pretty sure that's when I looked at him like he was a nut job. It can't be. This is a new thing I'm talking about and dreaming up. There's no way that this is in your thousands-year-old book that all the fuddy-duddies base their stereotypical traditional worship services that I'm convinced aren't the future and why I'm doing something different. Hold this idea. Well, friends, he was right. In fact, he was more right than he even realized. There are 27 different places, these ancient holy texts, Old and Testament and New, where Scripture holds some version of love the Lord your God with your heart, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And essentially, that's what we're trying to do. Now, maybe that phraseology puts up your drawbridge and fills the moat and calls out the guards around your ideological castle. Look, I get it. If you're like me, you've had Scripture savagely torn from its contextual roots and shoved into your face to justify some point of view or to shame you into submission or quoted like a textbook or a rule book above questioning. And don't even get me started on the brutal disfigurement of the text through grossly inept efforts at translation and exegesis. I could tell you some friggin' seminary stories. But suffice to say, if we can put that aside for a minute, to love is essentially to try to love, to seek to love, to do nice things for and hope for and dream with and do all your best for. And God, or essentially the source of all goodness and hope and peace, the spirit, energy, connectedness, higher consciousness that threads through all that is beautiful and right in the world. And the rest? We want to do this loving of God with all of ourselves, heart, mind, and body, and by loving others. We want to contribute to all that is good in the world with all that we've been blessed with to make it through this life. And a belief that if we do, then in the great karma, yin-yang, divine intervention, universe balance way of things, we will be better. And the world will be better. And that, my friends, is worth it. So after that message, we moved out into a field, and Ludi led us through some basic Tai Chi moves and explained to us some of the theory and ideology behind Tai Chi. And I hope that you'll take some time to look at the videos and pictures on our Missing Piece Facebook page, because it was fun, and we actually look like we know what we're doing, and we're all beginners. So, and it was peaceful and beautiful, and we really enjoyed it. So thanks again to Ludi for leading us. I want to remind you that this week coming up again is Sunday Soul Brunch at Orman Brewing Company. The jam's playing. We got a great menu with like chicken and biscuits and macaroni and cheese and all kinds of delicious food. And of course, the amazing brews of Orman Brewing Company. And the week after that is Civil Conversations. So keep an eye on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or text PEACE to 33222 to stay up to date on where we're going and what we're up to, because you're invited. Grace and peace, friends.